I can't help but feel that we've somehow done this before in a past life, my friend.
I feel like a sort of shimmering frame happening here.
This was
Wayback Machine.
Recorded originally by local musician Brian Platter. Mike, thoughts and comment?
Very soothing, tranquil.
It fits the mustache. Not enough of that.
I'd like to go on the record, Tom, saying really nothing fits that mustache, except the tie.
Welcome to Big Words I Know by Heart, a program of rants, raves, fays, pet peeves, personal vendettas, and anything else we can fill the half hour with. My guest today is the editor-in-chief for the Daily Public, Buffalo's newest new alternative news weekly about the news. He's been firmly entrenched and embedded in Buffalo journalism for the past 15 years, and we seem to keep crossing paths and swords. I'm very pleased to welcome Finnegan Begin again, Geoff Kelly.
Did you say swords?
Swords.
Swords?
Joining me in the co-host hot seat is Mike P. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure to be here.
Glad to have you back. Jeff,
for the first time.
For the first time. We meet again for the first time. Can we go through these questions that you're hearing for the very first time?
Please, have at it.
Does Public have a mission statement, or is that too 1996 Jerry Maguire?
Can't the answer be yes to both? I mean, yes. We have a mission statement. It's a secret mission statement, so I'm not going to share it with you tonight. However, it is also a little bit, retro to have one.
I see. Mike, do you have a mission statement?
In life?
Not to put you on the spot, and go.
Well, thank you for not putting me on the spot.
And thank you. Jeff, what's your stance on that politician who fucked up?
That politician who fucked up is totally misunderstood. He will be reelected, and he will fuck up again.
Who is it this week? Is it Trump, Palladino? Take your pick, spin the wheel.
Well, first of all, Trump is not elected to anything, so he's not an elected official. He's just a guy who has cameras in front of him 24/7. Carl Palladino just barely got elected to something, and look at what a great job he's doing with it.
So, in essence, you're saying you're backing Bernie Sanders.
I'm going to tell you a little Bernie Sanders story since you bring it up.
Please do.
Okay, so I went to college in Vermont back in the late '80s and early '90s because I'm old, and at the time, Bernie Sanders was mayor of Burlington, Vermont, Vermont's biggest city, and he was elected as, I think, an out-and-out. His party registration was socialist at the time, and
he was cooking small children.
No, what he ran on, not as far as I know. He or anybody still knows. Part of his platform when he ran was improving public transportation, and so he said, as part of his platform, he would take the bus to work every day. And he did for like the first 6 or 8 months. And then, using money out of his own pocket, he bought some TV time during the evening news to apologize to the voting public. He said, listen, it turns out this taking the bus to appointments is not working out. I'm late for everything. It turns out I've got to be a lot of places as mayor. It's a mess. And so I have, with my own money, out of my own pocket, bought a second-hand Chevette, which I'm going to drive myself to appointments. I apologize for not living up to my campaign promise. What a guy.
At least he was honest for that moment. That's what they call stick-to-itiveness, Mike.
Stick-to-itivity.
Stick-to-itivity.
Yeah. I mean, I'm an editor, so I'm just
I've heard of that.
Telling you that's the correct
You've heard of
English.
That? Who you voting for? Who's got your vote?
Referring to?
Anything. The Captain Crunch sweepstakes.
Crunch berries.
Is there any voting opportunity in that? I mean, really,
With the Captain Crunch ticket?
Yeah.
You're saying it's fixed, the die bolt's behind it?
I'm just saying that, Crunch, Berry, whatever, the Captain, they're all really the same party, aren't they?
Let's bring back a return to values and E.T. the extraterrestrial cereal. You remember that?
No.
And moving on then. Would you describe public as a synergistic zeitgeist embracing Buffalo love targeted towards the upwardly mobile everyman?
Could you say that twice more?
I didn't say it right the first time.
Zeitgeist sounds good. I'll go
Zeitgeist
with
is
zeitgeist.
good.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the gigantic gray area between advertising sales and original content where most print papers reside?
I think, in fact, that's a lot of hooey. I don't think there is a gray area. I think there's actually a clean, bright line. Cleaner and brighter than most people suspect, especially for newspapers like ours, where the stakes are relatively small as a business, but very, very high editorially. I mean, granted, we end up writing about, it's a small town, and we write sometimes about business people and people who are doing things, trying hard to accomplish things, and sometimes those people advertise. But the decisions are never actually, in fact, influenced.
Never the twain shall meet.
No, and they just don't have to. It's kind of a, in the same way that people get jaded about politics, they assume everything is
Payola.
bought and sold. We've been trained to think that about our media too, and I think, and maybe rightly so, where the stakes are higher, but where the stakes are low, as they are for us, it's easy for us to say no and piss off an advertiser or alienate one for however long, or for that matter to piss off or alienate a politician, because who really, it doesn't hurt us that much.
Will you be taking the fourth quarter?
Look at you. You just got a serious answer out of me.
Will you be taking the fourth quarter off to chase down those much-needed full-page Easter ads?
We are in it every week, every single week. Because what would our competitors say about us if we took even a single week off?
In your esteemed opinion, will the market crash in China affect the market value of my Batman Pez dispensers?
Please don't tell me the market crashed in China. Please don't tell me. What about my retirement home?
Do you own stocks,
on the Yellow
Mike?
River?
Stocks? Stocks, bonds?
Socks. I have socks. Yes, I have socks. I'm actually wearing socks.
I have Gold Bond.
Gold bond?
Yeah.
That's
I'm not
horrendous.
I'm not wearing it right now. It's the weather's a little cooler. So
Geoff, have you ever had that not-so-fresh feeling?
I refer you to my previous answer.
Did you get a chance to review my 2003 submission? If so, will you be running it as a feature story any day now?
Oh, you missed that? I ran it on the web. You missed it. Well, it's there somewhere.
I'll find it.
It's searchable.
The trolls have already found it. Mike, have you been to the Public's website, which is dailypublic.com?
I have not.
Are you surfing the interwebs?
You know me. I am off the grid.
That's a good place to
My
be.
15-year-old gateway computer works very, very adequately.
You play chess with it? You pong?
Yes.
You follow the news, though. What's of utmost concern to you, Mike?
We don't have time to get into that, honestly, Tom.
I was disturbed to find out recently that Amelia Siegel left Buffalo. I don't know when this happened.
Who?
The weather girl for Channel 4. She had a librarian thing going on.
So Mike is off the grid in terms of the internet. I don't have a TV, and I don't want to say that like one of those boring.
I'm that guy. That
one of those boring guys.
I'm
like,
too good for TV.
It's funny. I haven't had a TV for years. Or no, I fix all my own watches. I'm not one of those guys, but I just don't have a TV, so I don't really. I watch TV news when someone says, "Oh, there's this really interesting bit on."
Are you streaming it all on the apps from your Droid, like most of America?
I'm kind of an Apple guy, but yeah, I stream stuff as much as I can.
What are you dialing up on your apps, Mike?
Well, when I flip my phone open, there are no apps. So.
Fair enough.
Not even like appetizers. Not like a little bit of like yesterday's lunch.
No,
a little mayonnaise.
I have to hit a button multiple times to find the letter when I.
And that's okay. That's one cell phone better than me. Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Would you agree that journalism hasn't changed at all in the last 100 years and that the internet hasn't altered anything?
Well, I mean, the goal of journalism hasn't really changed. It's just a change in medium. It's changed the business model. It's changed the way we fund the kind of journalism that the market wants, that the market in any given time wants, right? So, and so the medium and the market sort of, gosh, I sound like a conservative here, but the market and
is that a bad word? Is that a dirty word, conservative?
Well, no. You think about it. I mean, it depends, right? It's not dirty. I mean, it's the progressivism and conservatism push and pull each other, right? But even in this country, at least, most conservatives, most mainstream conservatives, believe in the progress of society and politics. They just think that they should be dragging it back a little bit. The progressives are trying to pull it in one direction too fast.
So pull the borders down and let's join Canada. Is that what you're saying?
Despite what what we progressives like to say in our angry moments about conservatives, most of them are not, in fact, the
devil incarnate,
horrible fascists. They are something just short of that.
Follow-up question. Fox and Friends delivers the same trustworthy format that its predecessors, 60 Minutes or Meet the Press, were known for. Agree or disagree?
Again, I don't really have a TV, so
Damn
I don't
it.
really know what Fox News does. I mean, I read what they say, and when you read it in like words on a page, it seems kind of crazy. Just got to say, because I don't watch them. I don't know. You guys probably know what they look like.
Are you a Channel 4 guy, Mike? Channel 2, Channel 7?
I'll go with Channel 2.
Why?
Good choice.
Because you pick the winner? Like, they're the first in the marketplace.
They have the most money budget-wise.
Well,
Channel
that's 'cause
7,
they're
they're
first
like
in the
taking
marketplace.
cans back for the budget, right?
Well, yeah, I know. It's just funny because, I think we're like all Buffalo guys, so you think like you want to go with the person in third place. You want to be like, yeah, they're gamers. They're
The underdog.
the underdog who will maybe always be the underdog, but, we like to lose. We Buffalonians. We like a little bit to lose.
We love to lose.
But if I may,
You may. Of course you may.
we're on the topic of the weather forecasters. I got a little thing from Maria Gennaro.
Is she the
Interesting.
Is she the one with the butt?
AM,
AM.
early morning weather, Maria Gennaro. She's from the Falls.
That's a hot tip from Mike P. Maria
Is
Gennaro
that
from
part
the
of it that
Falls?
she's from the Falls? Does that
Is it because
help?
she's from the Falls? So you know she's crazy then?
Crazy Italian.
Nice. I like it. Moving on. Speaking of underdogs, Geoff, do you regard Blue Dog Press as a serious competitor?
in this world of like zombie apocalypses? Sure. What the heck, Actually, there are a lot of people who were at Blue Dog who I wish were still around. I wish I could have them as journalists in my stable now. There were a lot of good people there.
Some of them survived.
I can't think of anyone.
Based on your findings, is it safe to say that a Patrick Kane dating game show is off the table?
Are you kidding? Never more popular. What we need is like a new Chuck Barris who would be like chewing on that like a dog on a bone. He'd just be like, this is the perfect thing. Come on, you got to do it.
I like that you rolled with it. Do you think
Was
Kane...
that a mistake?
It was not a mistake.
Okay.
It was the exact right thing to do at that moment.
I didn't just ruin my career, did I?
We'll find out after the break.
Is there a break?
There's no break. Do you think Kane's attorney, Paul Cambria, was tall enough to go on the spinning teacup ride at the Erie County Fair?
I understand him to be 7.5 feet tall. You think
With lifts?
he is a giant among men? Paul Cambria. Paul Cambria is a funny and smart guy. Have you ever talked to him?
No comment.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there was that situation. Who exactly picked up Cambria's tab for that?
You left
I'd like to
Buffalo for quite a few years in the 2000s.
Changing the subject.
Why in God's name did you come back?
Because, here, honestly, there I was in the strangest halls of the Middle East, and I thought, what I really want to be doing is be sitting in like some Polish social club on the East Side talking about which white politician is more racist than the other. I love that stuff. It's great.
It gets into your blood, doesn't it?
It does.
It's kind of like comedy. It's like heroin.
Yeah. Plus, I just love this town. What can I say? There's no. I mean, I'm actually not cynical about it. I love it.
The town's so nice, they named it. Back to you, Mike.
Buffalo.
Buffalo. Pleased to arrange these events in the order that they are most likely to occur in our lifetime. A revitalization of the harborfront thanks to corporate specialty franchises, the second coming of Christ, a new peace bridge, filling Niagara Falls with marmalade, and colonization by space aliens.
You know what I've always wanted to do? And I'm not changing the subject at all here.
You're not. You're leading into it.
I've always wanted to buy a whole lot of gelatin packages and pour them into a pool. And see if you could make an entire pool into a giant block of Jell-O.
I think they do that at Williamsville Old Home Days with gold doubloons.
And they turn it into Jell-O?
Yes.
They turn it into money. I got you.
Perhaps. Mike, do you want to weigh in here?
Was the Jell-O leading to a Bill Cosby reference at all? I wasn't sure of that.
No.
No?
No. But
God,
it could have.
I really hope not.
I hope not. It's is every artist, journalist, sculptor, street performer, comedian, and museum curator in a 60-mile radius a flaming liberal to the point of spontaneously combusting? And why do you think that is?
I think, in fact, no. I think that's a misconception. I think you'd be surprised to learn how, both about the politics of a lot of artists and writers, but more specifically, if we were going to talk really what liberal and conservative means, some artists and writers are deeply conservative in their practice, in their notion of what they want to evoke. And some people are very sort of progressive and experimental in it. And that doesn't often tie into how they live their lives or their politics at all. Look at you. You got another serious answer out of me.
That was a very good answer.
If totally indecipherable.
There was something in there.
There were
somewhere.
words. They were all English.
Is it an Achilles heel for local journalists if you haven't been part of a failing punk band?
The thing is, I've never been in a band, and this used to kill. When I was part of a startup weekly in Pittsburgh, when I moved there after our first crossing of swords in the early 2000s, like I walked into this editorial office, and literally everybody there was in a band, like currently was in a band.
Was it a jam session?
No,
like Spinal Tap Mark II?
No, they were all sort of like they were a little too like punk rock for that. There wasn't any jamming, but they were sort of like, so what kind of band were you in Buffalo? And I was like,
This Keith Buckley's setting the world on fire, isn't he?
He is. Every time he dies, he sets the world on fire.
How'd you rope him in?
He's friends. He's just interested. I don't know. He's friends of friends, and he's awesome, man. He's hysterical, I think.
What local bands can you get behind, Mike?
Talus.
I don't know is that a person or a band?
Google it.
Talus. I'm gonna Google it up.
Google it.
Come
on.
Okay.
You want the penny? You want the slide whistle for that?
Perhaps the bike horn, just once. Not even. Which side did you root for during Occupy Wall Street?
I rooted for the journalists. I thought, woo, you've got it made. This is easy. All you got to do is hang around and just churn it out.
You know where to find them.
Yeah. Yeah.
The journalists. Did you cover any of the Occupy Wall Street?
Not Wall Street. The Occupy Buffalo movement in Niagara Square I did, and a few of its sort of offshoot things that happened during and then after they were disbanded, after they were kicked out.
Was it a bunch of smelly hippies in drum circles? Chanted their Mother Earth goddess?
There was a little bit of that. There were also a lot of like strange hangers-on. There were a lot of older people who came in, and there were a lot of union activists. And you know, it's really kind of interesting how quickly, especially here, local union activists latched onto that movement, provided material support, didn't really try to take it over, but tried to say like, hey, you know, we're on the same page. And then afterwards use some of what they learned from those activists in their own sort of political strategy in the years that followed immediately, and to great effect locally. So much so that a lot of what local union activists are doing here, the sort of political arm of the union movement, they are now being asked nationally to talk about the successes they've had in Western New York in electoral politics.
There's something or other to do with the unions
Look
going
at
on
you,
right
you got
now,
another
right?
answer out of me.
What's that big union business today with Ingersoll Rand? Are you all over that?
Well, my co-editor, Aaron Lowinger, is...
He's a sharp fellow.
He is a sharp fellow, yeah. And passionate, especially about union issues.
He's all over it?
Yeah. So I don't really know. I edited his piece last night, but that was like 11:30 at night. If you ask me what the hell it said, I don't remember.
Would you hide a body of a scab, Mike? Have you? Do you know how to pour concrete?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
It's fantastic. You're staying away from Rico that way.
Who's Rico? Rico Suave?
Suave?
The guy you borrowed your tie from?
Oh! This is a white satin tie, sir. Are you an ardent supporter of charter schools now that there are 15% less reported cases of satanic ritualistic abuse?
15% less?
It's down.
Can you
It's down.
Can you cite your study? Is that a personal study? A personal experience?
That's an anonymous source. I can't reveal my sources. You should know that. You're in the biz. They're protected by one of those amendments, correct? Incorrect.
The amendments to what? To your mortgage? To your to your parole?
To my parole. Please to explain the difference between Public's Patreon initiative, rattling a tin cup, and or Indiegogo and the like.
Well, I mean, essentially, in the end, there's not much difference except that our campaign is intended to raise money. It doesn't go to operational costs at all. It's only to pay freelance writers, artists, illustrators, designers. So it's a way of just, we already, when we started, our business plan included a pretty substantial percentage of money going to freelancers because we wanted to bring in as many voices as possible and pay everybody. And we've been pretty good about that, as best as we can do, but we'd like to pay people a little bit more. We'd like to be able to fund some long-range investigative projects, things that cost, you got to have like $5 or $6 grand to pay someone to work for 3 or 4 months on something.
Absolutely.
And we can't do that right now, but we'd like to. So we're hoping the Patreon campaign, which is a subscription-based campaign, so you're not just like giving like $50 and you're done. You're saying, I'll give you $2 a month or $5 or $10 a month. And, in exchange, we'll give you fabulous prizes.
Does Nancy Parisi really need more gold Fabergé eggs?
Nancy Parisi is best suited to answer that question. My inclination is to say yes. However, I defer to Nancy.
Nancy's a champ.
In
I'm
many
just
things.
messing around. Mike, where do you weigh in here? Altruism?
Absolutely.
100%.
He's just thinking about pouring concrete.
Pouring concrete.
And Maria Gennaro.
Is she a blonde brunette?
The two things at the same time, because that's
She is an Italian. She is from the Falls.
Concrete.
The Falls is right next door to NT, correct?
Right around the corner.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, whatever that may be. Geoff, how much of your target audience is white guys in their 30s with bad dreadlocks and overly complicated tastes in wine who are also career students on an all-organic diet?
I don't know. That's a question like from 1994. You don't see guys in their 30s with bad dreadlocks anymore.
What about the bun? The bun, then. We'll replace dreadlocks with bun.
1995.
Really?
You're getting closer. Come on, man.
I got to get my ear to the rail.
Yeah, I think so.
We're going to skip that question. How would your publication adjust to being swallowed up by and doing the bidding of one of the 5 multi-billionaires who own every facet of the mainstream media on the planet?
I don't know. What's the buyout figure for me, personally? I mean, that's what I want to know.
Your settlement.
My settlement.
Points on the back end?
I want to know what that is before I answer the question. Otherwise, I have to reserve comment.
You're working on a big nut, right?
I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means.
And neither do I.
Which is the finest part of this conversation.
Mike, you're from the old school, correct?
I consider myself old school, yes.
What questions do you have for Geoff now that the time is winding down?
Directly, don't have any questions other than that shirt and tie.
Geoff's?
Shall we talk about that for a little while?
Why would you attack our guest about his sartorial
Can we just
choices?
divulge a secret about this recording session?
Which one?
That's what I'm saying. That this is the second one. That in fact we had like a technical error the first time we did this, so we're redoing it now. And yet, having seen the video, having actually chosen once
press photos
to wear this outfit, Tom chose to wear it again.
Steve Irwin, Crocodile Hunter.
However, he decided to add that mustache.
That's a season 2 thing. You can't touch the mustache.
I have no desire to touch the mustache.
Well, the shirt and tie is definitely 1991-ish, maybe a little Miami Vice-ish.
Yeah, I think so.
Crockett
right?
and Tubbs, little Crockett and Tubbs
A
action.
little chess king, you know. Yeah. If that's not dating myself.
Bill Blass is coming back around, isn't he?
Who?
I don't know.
Members only.
I still have my Guess jeans, goddammit. What do you think of that?
I'm kind of speechless, honestly.
So, Mr. Kelly, I would like to welcome you again to Plugola. 2 minutes of as many plugs that my guest and I can fit in with the time allowed. Plug away, my friend. Dear friend.
Pick up the Daily Public every Wednesday for free at 1,000 different locations throughout 3 counties, Niagara, Erie, Chautauqua.
The printing presses are still going this month?
They're still going. They're going like crazy. We never take August off. We never take any month off. We are also conversing with our community daily at dailypublic.com. You will find a lot of fresh content there every single day.
You've got audio, video, you've got all of it.
We do. Yeah. Mostly print and audio, a little bit of video here and there, and a lot more fresh podcasts coming every week.
With the Pat Cooley. Is it Cooley?
Pat Cooley, and actually starting next week, you can, for your delectation, a regular political podcast with me, Alan Bedenko.
Bedenko, I think I've heard of him.
Michael Caputo, former advisor to Carl Palladino on his gubernatorial campaign, hosted by Brad Ryder of Trending Buffalo.
Brad Ryder, I've heard of him too.
Yeah, he did a lot of sports radio.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, that's going to be good, and that's going to be a weekly thing starting. We record our first one next Wednesday. I'm sure it'll go up live directly thereafter.
Can you upload the Public's website on your Speak and Spell, Mike? What would you like to promote?
Channel 2 Morning News with Maria Gennaro.
Oh, boy. Here's the easy segue back into the new theme song by Brian Platter. Geoff, you have been a delight.
Thank you. It's been my great pleasure, Tom.
Thank you for coming back and always coming back.
That makes me feel a little bit pathetic. Thank you.
It shouldn't. Mike, parting words, your moment of zen.
My pleasure.
Please make sure to subscribe to the Big Words I Know by Heart channel on the YouTubes for bonus episodes, updates on new shows, and an all-access pass to the history of the show. Mike and I will be at Wingfest in about a week and a half. See you in a month, folks.